And it's Julie Max in the Maine Stamper. I am live from my weekly card class from Maine, and you are hanging out with me, and I'm so excited to welcome you into my craft room. Make sure you say hi as you jump on. I'd love to know who's hanging out with me tonight. We are here for week number 6. Week number 6 of Festival of Trees. We are trucking along, and I am not kidding. We're trucking along with the Trucking Along bundle. This is the bundle that we're using today. We're going to be using the Trucking Along, and we are going to be creating 3 fantastic cards. Now I'm going to share the making of these cards, and I'm going to talk you through my design process, which is always kind of interesting, and hopefully you'll learn something along the way. I always like to inspire you, if nothing else. And you can also have the opportunity to get these card kits in the mail with your order with me this week. So Jess is on. Hi Jess, welcome in. We are trucking along with the Trucking Along bundle tonight. So we are going to be having a lot of fun with this card class. Now I have 3 cards as always, and I'm going to just peek at you with the backs of these. This is the back. These are the colors we're using. Do they look very Christmassy? Because they probably don't right now, right? We've got Mossy Meadow, Gray Granite, and White. That's the back side. So I hope you can imagine a colorful world of fun designer series paper and other coordinating colors that I'm going to use to make these cards maybe a little bit more Christmassy, because, you know, there's so much magic in the creating. Hi Jackie, hi Michelle, it's good to see you. Thanks for jumping on and saying hi. I really appreciate your time tonight. So let's get over to my workspace, because we are going to be talking about the card kits, the bundle, the offers, all of the good things. Let me move you over here. Make sure I've done it correctly here before I move away from my desk, because sometimes I forget. Okay, so we're talking a little bit about the Trucking Along bundle. This is a photopolymer stamp set. This is not in the mini catalog. This is an online exclusive, and this came out, oh my goodness, this came out back in July, I believe, was the first release of this stamp set. It is photopolymer. There are a lot of stamps. You can, of course, the truck, iconic truck, right? And here's why we're using it for Festival of Trees, because there is a pine tree that you can put in the back of the truck. There's also a palm tree if you're feeling a little bit, you know, festive down south. And there's some presents, which are also Christmassy, but could be birthday. And then there's some trees, fences, there's flowers, there's all kinds of great things in the stamp set. So it really is a year-round stamp set. Now it goes with the builder punch. This punch has been so elusive. It was out of stock for so long, and then back in and out and in and out and in and out. So I'm using the Trucking Along bundle, and I'm pretty sure it's back in stock. I didn't look, but I'm pretty sure that it's still available if you're interested in purchasing this. Now, if you already have this bundle, this is a great class to take, because you already have the bundle, right? You're going to get it at home with your $40 order. You're going to get my 6 card kits. And with a $50 order, you're going to get the card kits and the ribbon. Now, I wanted to talk to you a little bit about both, right? So the card kits, these are the card kits. I'm going to give you a bit more of a sneak peek here, because I really only teased with the card bases earlier. So you can see we've got some white and black, some very green, and I'm loving the pretty peacock right now. We've got a little bit of a wintry look here going on with our final card, which is going to be fabulous. Now there's 2 each in those envelopes. With your $40 order, you get those at home. With $50 order, I'm throwing in the ribbon, and I'm throwing in this ribbon. This is the black and white ribbon. This is in the annual catalog. And I wanted to show you the difference between the black and white ribbon, and this is what is currently in the mini catalog, and this is the black and vanilla ribbon. So the vanilla ribbon is wider, and obviously vanilla instead of white, right? So you can see there's a big difference not only in the size, but in the color. So I just wanted to share that with you in case you're like, well, what's the difference here? There is quite a difference. We are not using vanilla. We are going black and white today. Okay, so, and I just want to point out that Black Friday is coming, and I might have a few specials for you for Black Friday. So make sure you're checking out your email this week. I'll be sharing my Black Friday offers. Now these are my personal offers for sales. Stampin' Up did a sale last week, and they had cardstock and ink and all the good things on sale. I don't know that they're having another one this week. I haven't heard anything, so I can't verify that they are. The mini catalog has items that are going to be retiring, and the sale starts tomorrow. Now there is a list. I sent it in my Thursday email. I'll send it again tomorrow, of items that are retiring. Some of them are on sale. Not a lot of things are on sale, but there's some things on sale. It is definitely worth checking out. So if you want to save some money this week, check out the retiring items from the mini catalog. Order with my host code 34 GBEBVJ, and this goes through Friday, November 24th. Now, my Black Friday specials will have nothing to do with the card class, so they're going to be completely separate offers. So you'll either have the card class offer if you're interested in placing an order and getting the card kits, or you might want to take advantage of the other offers that I'm going to share with you for Black Friday. I'm really excited about that. Now, speaking of Black Friday, I want you to notice I pulled a little bit of black cardstock into each of my card kits this week. I like to have a little fun with things like that. So my card class this week has a little bit of black, which is very elegant in every card. And it's kind of my ode to Black Friday that's coming up. Now let's take a look at our first card. Since you haven't seen them yet, you might be excited. This one is very white, black, and red, and very cheery. I really love how this card turned out. I was really excited. Now, I'm not going to be sharing all kinds of fancy techniques with this stamp set and this punch. I'm going to show you such basic cards that it's going to be easy for you to replicate these, especially if you have this at home already. So this is our first card. Let's talk about what's all in the card kit here, because there's a lot of different things that you're going to get. Now you get 2 of everything. So there's 2 envelopes, and there's 2 card bases. These are the thick white card bases because I layer my cards up. There's a lot of heft here, so I like a heavy card base as well. And as mentioned, there will be black cardstock in every kit today. I was just really excited to be able to squeeze in that color no matter what I was creating. It's going to be really fabulous. So I'm pulling apart different things. You're getting some die cut pieces. You're getting the embossed piece. I want you to notice the snowflakes, because I've been using the snowflakes on at least one card for every card kit in my Festival of Trees. Okay, so I think we are down to the nitty gritty. So I'm going to set aside half of the kit, and we're going to work with one together here. So this is some specialty paper, and you're going to see on the back side, the pebbled path is really dark, but it's also very shiny. And I like the lighter side here. Now, sometimes I go rogue during my assembly process and I flip the paper over. So stay tuned here because things could get exciting. Not really sure how I'm feeling about flipping that paper over, but things could get exciting. Hi, Sandra. Oh my gosh, I'm so glad you're excited. Hi, Patty. I hope you're doing well. And we are going to get going. This is our white card base. I've already got it scored and folded. And we're going to start with let's start with the bones of our card, because it's always just fun to play with the bones and then figure out what you could do at home if you didn't have this punch. Can you imagine what you could put on here besides the truck? I mean, just like lots of possibilities, because I love lots of layers. So we're really going to start with the real red and the designer series paper, and the first decision you're going to make is putting this on with the white up. And I know it's probably really shiny in your eyes here, or the gray. Now I feel like the gray is really, really dark, like really dark. And I don't know that I'm struggling to have to put the gray on here. So I think I'm going to definitely stick with the white. I feel like the white is much needed for this card. I like the brightness of it. So we're going to flip this over and we're going to put this on here. Now, as I'm looking at my paper cut here, I think I cut my paper for this one just a little bit shorter than I should have. So I'm going to have to be really careful when I cut for your kits at home that you're taking in the mail. This red piece is supposed to be an 1/8 inch smaller than the designer series paper, and I feel like I kind of missed the mark. I have just a smidge of red. I'm going to go with it, but I do try to make sure as I put these kits together, I make little notes and I remember that I got to get it right for you, because I want you to have really beautiful kits in the mail. Now this paper right here, I'm going with the white up. I have to. It's just so bright and cheerful, right? I can't possibly. Now the sides right here, this measurement is correct. I wanted just a hint of the red to show, but top and bottom, I have barely any, so I'm not quite as happy with that as I could be. Oh, and before we glue this down, let's think about what we're doing here. We're going to cut some ribbon and we're going to wrap it here. So let me grab my ribbon scissors, and I'm just going to suggest that you can eyeball off your spool, or you can measure. So either way, however you feel, but it needs to be at least a 1/2 inch or so longer than the paper, because we're going to wrap it around to the back. So I'm going to bring in my silicone mat. I love to work on this with my ribbon and my tape, because it doesn't stick. Doesn't stick where, you know, I don't want it sticking on different things. So I'm just going to run my tape runner here along the ribbon, and now I'm going to put this on here, and I'm going to bring in this piece of ribbon, and I'm going to use these little lines here that are on this grid paper to kind of help me, maybe I'll make it straight, right? So we're just kind of lining it up here in the middle, and then I'm going to turn it over, add a little bit of the adhesive on the back, and wrap my ribbon around just like that. So there it is wrapped around, and there it is. And I know it looks a little odd here, but once it's all completed, it looks so much nicer. So now this can go down onto our black cardstock. So I'm just going to go ahead and add in some adhesive and put this down onto the next matted layer. And the black layer here of cardstock is meant to be much bigger than the one that is on top of it, I should say. And I see that this paper here, this is the tartan foil. It's like a specialty paper. It comes, this is an online exclusive also. It comes in Pebbled Path, Pretty Peacock, and I think it was Copper Clay. Really gorgeous colors. It happens to catch the goopy glues and little bits and things, so you may have to, you know, adjust that a little bit here and there. All right, we're going to put this down because we are still talking about the bones of our card. I think I swiped some glue here off to the side. It's a good thing my mat's right there to catch it. Now, make sure you know which way your card is opening. This is important. We randomly I have friends that have problems remembering that, and sometimes I have a problem remembering that too. So I always do double check that. All right, so this is just coming on here. Now I'm leaving room on the bottom here for my sentiment. As you can see here, my sentiment's going to come along on the bottom, and we are making some good progress. So let us do a little bit more assembly. Let me move this side, and it's got glue that will dry here a little bit. This real red piece, these, by the way, these pieces right here that are going to go together, they are the Countryside dies. They are the Countryside Corners, I should say. Countryside Corners dies. And they're just really great for nesting. I'm going to bring in some real red ink because I want this to be darker. I want it to be real red darker. So I'm just going to come along with my sponge dauber, adding ink along the four sides, and it's just going to make the outside deeper in color, and I just really like that look. So these are all optional steps. At home you can do however you like, but I do like to just add that little bit of ink, and it doesn't take long at all, and I'm sure I've dipped my finger into the ink just nicely. Now as I put this together, I'm actually going to put this strip of black cardstock right across the middle. And when I did this, I wanted to fill in a little bit more of the sizes. You can see are there's quite a difference in the nesting sizes. They don't nest small, they nest big, right? They're big nesters. So I wanted to fill in a little bit of this red cardstock with something else. I just wanted something else on here. And as I put this together, this little black belt across the middle here, this kind of reminded me of Santa Claus, you know, like Santa belt, right? Like the belt and the red jacket. So it seemed a little bit more Christmassy to me, which I thought was kind of nice. I'm going to go ahead and glue down my snowflake embossed little piece here, and you can decide, look at your snowflakes and see which side you want facing up or down. And we're just going to pop this into the middle here. I'm just going to wiggle this around just for a second and see if I can get this to straighten out a little bit. I think I have some little splotches of red ink on some of my snowflakes, but you know, this is how it goes sometimes. Okay, so now this can come down right over here. So it's going to come down on this this piece that we've already glued down. And I want to make sure that I leave room for a bow. So we're going to have another bow here. I love the little wrapped look here. When you wrap something around the back and then create a bow and put it on there, it has that little look of like gift wrapped packages, right? Which of course at Christmas time really comes to mind, something like that. So my little bow is going to go right here underneath. Let me trim off my spool and trim my edge a little bit there. There we go. Love working off the spool. Okay, so now we can basically glue down this piece. And you're thinking, where are all the dimensionals, Julie? Usually you're using like dimensionals pack a day. And I'm not actually using that as many today. So, and it's kind of funny because if I have a lot of layers, sometimes I stop using the dimensionals because otherwise my cards would be like a mile high, right? They just keep going. And then they might not even fit in the envelope by that point. All right, so here are the bones of the card, right? So you've got all these great things, and all we have left to do is our sentiment and our little truck. So for this sentiment, I took the one right out of this stamp set, and I've got wishing you a festive Christmas. So we are going to ink that up in the Memento ink. And I've got to just find it here, wishing you a festive Christmas. So I'm going to ink this up really nicely. I'm going to center this here on this little strip. This is about 5/8 inch wide, and it is the length of my card base, which is 4 1/4. Now, if you feel brave and you enjoy, you could stamp right onto your card base here. You could totally do that. I like to do it on an extra piece for 2 reasons. First of all, I'm going to tell you a secret. I actually smudged some red ink over here, so I really needed to cover that up. But I liked the look of having that come all the way across and be another piece. And if you mess up, you've got more scraps that you could just continue to stamp. And there you go. You could continue to stamp these until you get a nice one, and then you could put it on here. Now, I put this on flat, and as I thought about that, I might possibly pop this up on dimensional. So I'm going to set that aside for a minute. Let's work on our red truck. So this is our red truck. We're going to work on red truck, and I want you to know that each of the trucks are going to be a different color. So this is the red truck card, and it's kind of fun when I'm all said and done to see all the different colors. Now again, I'm just doing the really easiest stamping here for these cards. I'm not going to get super crazy with the trucking along bundle. I just want to show you how quick and easy it is. You can create beautiful cards. This is 2-step stamping. So there is the truck outline, which we just did in the Memento. There's the filler, which we're going to do in lots of colors tonight. And then there's the wheel wells. And with the builder punch, you can actually also do punch art. So you've got a hubcap, or I'm not sure what that's called. It's not a hubcap. It's like at the wheel well, and then the wheel, and then you've got like a little piece for the window. So you can actually get really fancy with this bundle. It's a really cute bundle, has been super popular, and I don't see it going anywhere for the near future. I feel like it's popular enough that it's going to stick around a little bit. So I have inked up real red. This is photopolymer, so I can see through, other than the fact that my red ink almost looks like I have too much red ink. So if you're nervous about that, stamp off first and check it out, make sure everything looks good. Then you're going to line up and you're going to stamp. And here we go, real red. Now this looks darker. It will dry a little bit lighter. So you're going to kind of see the tone here. There's a little bit of a difference. So there is our truck number 1 in the red. Now I do need to come through and just clean this really quickly because first of all, it's stained, and I probably would have a hard time remembering if I got the red ink off of there. Even though it's stained, it still won't transfer the ink as long as you wipe the ink off, get that cleaned up. So there we go. We've got our first little truck going. Now we do need to put some little tires on this baby. He's not going to roll very far without tires. So I've got basic gray here. I thought basic gray was just kind of, it's a nice, it's lighter than black. I'm going to move my ribbons aside because you probably can't even tell that I stamped that inside there. So this little stamp right here will line up with the middle of the tire, the hubcap part. Well, not the hubcap part. I'm really bad at this part. It'll line up here, which I didn't quite, I did this one a little bit better. So the middle of the truck, and then the tire, right? So if you mess up, which I've been doing quite a bit here today, I've been playing with this for a little bit, I need to restamp this one. This one right here, I came down too low. So I could get out a Stampin' Blend and I could color it, or I'm going to bring in a scrap of paper. I'm going to cover up this wheel because I don't want to stamp that one again. That one turned out nice. So I'm going to ink up again, and I'm going to try my best to come up a little bit higher. And I did. So my scrap paper grabbed the second wheel, and then this one is on there a little bit better. So you can reline them up. Now if the whole like lining up these tiny little stamps, because this part is a little bit more difficult, is hard, the next best thing you can do is just color it in with your Stampin' Blends, your Stampin' Right markers, colored pencils, all kinds of ways. Now I'm just putting this into my punch, and I'm going to give you enough paper here where you'll have a nice little handle. And here is our little truck. It's so cute. Now you're going to notice that we're missing a Christmas tree. We need to bring in the tree, right? So let me get rid of these scrappy things that I don't need. I'll probably need that other scrap again for my tire situation. Now, because you also have a handle, you also have some extra white paper, and we're going to stamp our tree next. So we're going to stamp with Garden Green and Memento. So actually this is black ink and green ink. So think about that when you're doing your stamping. It doesn't have to be green and green. Now, again, you have these two stamps. It might be easier to see them on the stamp case. Hopefully there's not too much of a glare. You have one that looks more like an outline, and you have one that looks like a filler. Okay, so we're going to take our filler. I'm going to do the filler first in the green. You can go either way. Either way is fine, but I'm going to stamp down the filler. I'm going to stamp it closer here to the bottom. So here is my garden green filler. Now it looks like a tree. I could leave it like this. It looks like it's got a little bit of snow on it. It's like the perfect little pine tree, right? But I'm going to give it a little bit more definition by bringing in the outline stamp. And this is just one where you have to kind of remember which way does your tree go. So your tree, because there's really no orientation here. So the tree goes so that it leans up against the back of the truck and goes in an L shape. So I'm just going to put this right over top of my green here. And I can see that I should have probably gone the opposite direction. Let's try the opposite real quick. Let me see. You know, sometimes I forget how I do these things. Sometimes I do them and I don't think. And then I have to show you and I'm like, how did I do this? All right, let's do the opposite and see if I can line up better. So now this time I have the outline in the memento, and then I've got the filler, and that one's a much better version. So I'm going to recommend option 2. But you know what is my favorite thing? My favorite thing is for you to do this at home however you prefer. If you prefer one way or over the other, I say go for it. Like, don't let me tell you what you need to do. I'll just show you some different ways, and then you decide. You figure out which way is best for you. We're going to do just the smidgenest of fussy cutting. So there is no, there's nothing that's going to cut out our tree or any of the other little images here in this beautiful little stamp set. However, the nice thing here is it works really well. You don't have to be super specific because we are putting it here against kind of a white background. I guess the top could be trimmed a little bit nicer, but the reality is it's going up here against kind of a white background, so it's not super noticeable. Now I like to leave a little tag here at the bottom of my tree, and that's so I have something that I can glue into the back of the pickup truck. So you kind of see here how this L shape goes, kind of like a lazy L. And then my truck's going to come right up over here, and the tree's going to kind of be leaning into the back. Now, the best way I like to adhere this, though, is I like to put a little bit of glue here on the bottom white part that's left over, my little handle. And then I'm just going to bring my truck up and over and make sure that this tree fits into the back of the bed, and make sure we tie it down good so we don't lose it while we're in travel route. And there's our little tree, and there's our little truck, and it's just that easy and cute. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring in some dimensionals, and we're going to pop those onto here. So I'm going to make sure I get one where the tree is, for sure, right? We want to make sure the tree stays right there on top. So there we go. All right, so we're going to do that. Now, you can stamp, not on this instance, you're not going to be able to stamp on the snowflakes, but you can stamp the tree in the background of your card if you don't want to fussy cut it, and then just make sure that the truck goes up and over top of that. So that's going on with dimensionals, and then we're going to put this cute little ribbon. Oh my goodness, this ribbon is so cute. I love this little checked ribbon. It goes really well with my cards. Oh my gosh, you guys, I'm out of tear and tape. Oh no, it's going to be a terrible catastrophe. I need to go find some, but I don't think it's even in my craft room. I think it's in my bins that go to the craft fair. So I'm not leaving the room. I'm just going to have to, we're going to have to like think about this tonight. But anyway, cute little ribbon, last bit of tear and tape. This makes me really sad. I think I need to put an order in ASAP and get more tear and tape, because you know I love my tear and tape. All right, we've got this wishing you a festive Christmas, and I think I'm debating if I want to bump that up on dimensionals. I don't know, you guys. I'm like on the fence here. Nope, I'm going to glue it down. I think that putting it on dimensionals might make it a little too obvious, right? I don't want it to be too obvious. So I'm just going to add some glue here to the bottom, and I'm going to come in here. And again, this is going to be the length of, or I should say the width of the card base. Wishing you a festive Christmas. I love the white on this card. It's just really classy and fresh. This is like a fresh, I love this card. This one might be my favorite of the class, and usually I save the best for last, but this one could very well be my favorite. I really love this card. This is, I can't say enough. This card is fantastic. All right, let me check messages real quick. Hi, Gwen. The cards tonight, oh my gosh, Gwen, you have hit the nail on the head. The cards tonight are all a little bit male oriented. And Melissa says it wouldn't be card making if you didn't dip your fingers in ink. Melissa's fingers were green. Hi, Linda. Oh yeah, just likes the extra white. Okay, perfect. I just wanted to make sure you guys are still with me. We're good. Okay, that's card number 1. Again, this might be my favorite, but let's move on to card number 2. Now, card number 2, definitely masculine. I feel like Mossy Meadow is a masculine color. I feel like it's kind of that color that lends itself to, to hunting, camouflage. In this case, we're using it kind of to be Christmassy, but maybe not entirely. Now I've got some deckled circles here for you. I've got a little embossed piece. This is brick embossing folder. Again, more black. Don't forget, Black Friday specials are coming. I'm going to remind you guys. Black Friday specials are coming. I'm putting together some specials, and I'm really excited to share some of these specials with you. So you'll be able to check them out. And there's more than one. So, okay. Speaking of more than one, you're getting 2 card kits. So I've just took apart the card kits. There's 2 of everything. And we are going to just tuck in the extra pieces. I think I left everything out that I needed. And I'm going to grab a pre-scored card base in this Mossy Meadow. Now this card, I have to find it. I haven't even showed it to you yet. This one could definitely be a masculine birthday card. It's got special delivery on it, and it's all green. It's all green and black. Like, I did not deviate. This is kind of more of a monotone color. I've got some really awesome designer series paper. Now, I thought that the special delivery is in the stamp set right here, special delivery, was the perfect match for this paper. Now, this is from Traditions of St. Nick. It's an online exclusive paper. The backside, also very fun. Traditions of St. Nick, there's a lot of really great images in it. This is supposed to be letters to Santa. So these are old-fashioned post boxes, mail boxes, and little letters and packages. And I thought, oh my goodness, special delivery, right? Like, the truck is bringing presents here. I thought that was really cool. So I love to get creative when I look at the papers. Now, this also is from Traditions of St. Nick. So you can kind of see here the Victorian look here. I mean, this paper is really cool paper. I just have to say I love the paper. All right, let's talk about the bones of our card, because we always do that first. Now, again, we've got some black, we've got some designer series paper, and we've got all kinds of other good stuff here. So I'm just kind of put my bones somewhat together. Before I go too crazy, though, let's bring in some ink and a blender brush and Mossy Meadow. We're going to deepen a few things down here. This is a very green card. It's a very green card. So I want to make sure that I'm making my green on the card a little bit different. So I use a lot of Mossy Meadow, but I want the Mossy Meadow to have different tones to it, if that makes sense. So it's monotone, but it's not completely the same tone throughout. So I'm just adding some Mossy Meadow ink, and I'm deepening up my embossed piece, my deckled circle. So it's just going to change up the way that these colors look against the card base. I think that's probably pretty good. Let me close that up. So now my fingers will also be green, just like Melissa's. It's exciting. I love that we can play with colors and kind of be twinsies, right? So let's put together our bones here. We're going to just put the designer series paper onto the black cardstock to mat it first. So this one, I mean, you probably could get away with some of the different patterns if you wanted to go in a different direction, but it's not quite the paper that you would flip and go, which side should I use? I feel like we definitely want, for this card, special delivery. So we're just going to mount this designer series paper, leaving our nice matted look, and then we're going to do the same thing with this one here for the bottom half. Now this one will have kind of a design in the background, is what I'm trying to say. So you can orient your paper whichever way you want. And I'm going to put mine so that these feathery looking little greens are toward the bottom, because the middle section here is going to get overlaid here by more layers. I mean, surprise, right? More layers. So I've got Mossy Meadow. This is the embossed piece that we sponged, and it's going to go on a nice layer of black cardstock. And again, I'm just bringing in that rich black color throughout each card tonight. And again, masculine look, yes. I feel like black elevates a card and makes it a little bit more elegant as well. So this is just going to come across here. Now you would have the option to put it up higher or lower, or in the middle. And of course, I'm going to go middle of the road, right? Because I don't really want to cover up too much of one or the other designer paper. I love them all. And as you get these kits and work with them, if you are not a fan of the multiple layers like I am, you can certainly use them on multiple cards and, you know, be a little bit more minimalist. And then of course you're going to get way more value out of that too, because you're not necessarily putting everything on, you're not putting all your eggs in one basket, right? You're putting them in multiple areas. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and put this on, centering it on our card front, which I know opens this way. So I did double check that. I eyeballed that as I was putting it together. So here's some bones of your card. Now, of course, you still have the deckled circles to work with, right? So you have these, and then you've got these little items over here that we're going to stamp and so on. But this is kind of what your card would look like if you wanted to go in a different direction besides the truck. So I just wanted to share with you. I love to share like just what we're going to do before we get to that point. So let's talk about these really cool trees, because the cool trees, the pine trees here, we've been working on pine trees. I don't know if did I clean these? I did not clean those yet. Let's clean these real quick. So we've been working on Festival of Trees, 6 weeks in, you guys. We're 6 weeks in already. Oh my goodness. I see Flo's on here, new to following you. Aw, thank you. Hi, Miss Flo. It's so great to see you. I'm glad you found me. I like to have fun in my card classes. I can be a little silly, so, you know, just forewarned. I get a little silly sometimes. Okay, so we've been working on trees, and I really wanted to get trees in this card. Now, you're going to see that the trees are actually here in the background, so we're going to stamp the background of our deckled circle because our truck is loaded with presents. So that's a really fun thing to do too. But we're going to start with the trees first. So we're going to, let me look at this again. How did I do this? Sometimes I forget what I'm doing. All right, we're going to bring in the memento. I really liked the trees in the memento. We're going to ink up the outline. We're going to start over here on the, so that we're basically on the side of our deckled circle, we're getting our tree kind of going in this direction, just like this, okay? And then we're going to continue to add trees in, kind of in an up and down. Some will be a little bit shorter, some will be a little bit taller, and we're just making a little ridge or row of trees across here. So hopefully you can see that this is coming together. Maybe I'll put one up higher a little bit here, and then kind of tuck this guy over here. So hopefully you can see, I know it looks kind of squiggly at the bottom, but hopefully you can see that there's a row of trees now. I think that's really cool that you can actually do that with a stamp that's designed to be like crooked in the back of a truck. Like that's where we're going with that. Now I'm going to bring in Mossy Meadow, and this time as I fill in my trees, again, trying to remember which way they orient, it just seems really weird to look at it. So I'm going to do a few of them that are going to be full ink, and then I'm going to stamp off. I'm going to use second generation ink is what I meant to say. So I'm doing a full ink and then off. So I'm going to kind of go back through and do a full ink and then a lighter ink. And then I'm going to probably do 2 full inks over here just to get them darker on the outside. So you can mix and match to get the different tones. Again, as I was mentioning earlier, I wanted different tones of green in my card, and that's a really great way to do that, is to use first and second generation ink to change up the color. All right, so there is our deckled circle. Isn't that adorably cute? I'm going to go ahead and glue this together. This will be going onto our card here shortly. And we are going to put a really awesome truck across here with some fun presents. So let's set this aside so you can see that that's going to go on here. Again, really awesome, lots of good green things going on. So let's bring in our things for our truck and our presents, and let's get those stamped. So again, I'm just using the memento ink with my truck outline, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp that down here. And then I'm going to stamp some presents while we have memento out. So the presents also are 2-step stamping. However, we're going to do a little bit different here with the presents. Now you can have a stack of presents, and a stack of presents is really fun, right? There's 1 stack of presents. But what if you stack them again? You can have 2 stacks of presents. Who doesn't want more presents, right? So you can stack these as tall as you want. You could just keep going. I've seen them stacked sideways and up tall and what have you. So you can continue to stack those as many packages as you want. I didn't want to go too high off my circle, so I stopped at 2. Now you could only do 1 if you wanted to. There's plenty there of paper that you could do that. Now we're going to bring in our filler stamp again for the truck, and this time we're doing Mossy Meadow. So we're going to just bring this guy in here and come down. I'm trying to kind of look over top, make sure I can get this on here. It's a little off, but you get the idea. Mossy Meadow, I need to clean off this filler stamp because we're going to be using it for one more color today. Now, you can do two-step stamping to fill in the packages. However, I had a really hard time lining this up. I'm not going to lie. This one was a little tricky to get all those little packages lined up. I struggled. So I decided, let's not struggle, right? We have enough struggles. We're going to actually do something different for the packages. But while I'm thinking about my truck, let's finish our wheel wells. Speaking of struggling, I didn't do a really great job on the first one. Let's see if I can do the second one a little bit better. I'm trying to like lean over. I need new glasses. I've determined, well, that's a little bit high. Let's try this again. I've determined that I really need to go to the eye doctors. Okay, my truck's a little wonky, but it's going to work. We're going to make it work. So instead of struggling, like I'm doing right now, you can use blender brushes. Stampin' Blends. You can use blender brushes too, but Stampin' Blends would work better. I like to use the nib end for the coloring, right? So I'm just going to come through here and I'm going to highlight all the little like bows and stripies on each of these for some really easy coloring. Now this is the light Mossy Meadow, so this again is going to give us another same color tone of Mossy Meadow, but it will be a little bit different. And I like to continue to add the little bit different in there. So I'm going to just hit a couple of these stripies over here from afar, the little ribbons and such. And there it is. It's that simple. You don't need to go crazy. I mean, you could go crazy. If you love to color, this is great. I am a let's color and get it done and move on kind of girl. Now again, we're doing a little bit of fussy cutting. So we're just going to come through here and trim around, turn your paper, kind of wiggle your scissors in your paper, and not too bad. This is not the worst fussy cutting. And again, you don't have to be super detailed because we're going against a white base. Now we're going to leave the bottom a little bit longer, but not this long because this is actually a little bit too long. So, oh, we need to punch out the truck yet. Let's do that real quick. We got to get the truck in here. My poor truck. He looks a little beat up. All right. So here's our truck and all the little bits and pieces that come out with our punch. All right. So you can see that if I were to put this in here, actually it does kind of fit, but there's the, I mean, it's really close. I would trim a little bit of this just because I feel like less is better here. So we're gonna do the same thing we do with our tree. We're gonna use this little white space at the bottom of our presents, put some adhesive on and line our truck up and over. And then you can kind of wiggle that around and decide how tall you want them to be. Tuck them in a little bit more if you want to. But here's our little green truck. Who likes the green truck? I think it's cute. I like the green truck. So we've had red truck, now this is green truck. Again, we have lots of colored trucks tonight. There's going to be one more color yet, but this is our green card, so we're still working on this. We have a little bit of heat embossing to do. This may seem like a super tiny little piece, but it's going to be awesome because we're going to heat emboss it. Okay, so we're going to bring in Versamark Special Delivery, as mentioned. We're going to use our embossing buddy here, this powder that comes on. Now it's white. Like you're going to see it on here that it's really white. And it's okay that it's white. It's supposed to be on there like that. And we've got white embossing powder. Let me move that aside before I make a big mess. And we're going to get this opened up. And we're going to be stamping our Special Delivery on here. Now there is an orientation to this. I want it to be the long way. Let me show you here. The Special Delivery is right here. It's embossed, but it's going to come the long way, and we're going to actually flag the end as well. So it's going to come down the long way, and we're going to put it on here. Let's go with like close to the top, but not to the very top. Let's go with that. So we're going to just bring this powder over here. Get our powder on. It looks so lovely. We're going to hook up this little reversible tweezers to my paper, and now I've got to see what I did with my heat tool. Oh, here it is. I found it. I unplugged it earlier, so now I just got to plug it back in. I do like to keep it unplugged just in case, right? Just in case. You just never know. So we're just going to do, this is going to be really quick and simple. And I love the white powder on black cardstock. I think this might be my favorite use of the white embossing powder because it's like that chalkboard look. And it's really special. And we have a special delivery here too with our little truck. So there we go. I think I am good. Now I don't heat emboss every week during class. I want to give a shout out to Sandra, who I know is watching tonight. Sandra, when I first met Sandra, she was like, she did not like heat embossing at all. It was like not her friend. And I gave her lots of tips and pointers, and I hope that I gave her the confidence to try to heat emboss, because now she says she's doing pretty good with it. I'm really excited for her. To do this flag that I'm going to do next, I'm going to actually come up the middle here and stop about where I want my flag to end. Now I'm going to come from the outside corner and angle it up. I know it's really hard to see on black cardstock. And I'm going to angle it toward my cut in the middle. And I'm going to do the same thing over here. I'm going to start in the corner and angle it up. And then hopefully I will have a pretty close, beautiful flag piece. So there's my little flag piece right there. My little triangles are there. So this piece is going to go on. Now this has that powder on it. I mean, sometimes the powder sticks around a little bit longer than you want it to. You can rub it off a little bit if you want to take something that's slightly damp, even damp your finger a little bit and push it on along the cardstock. You can remove some of that powder too. I know that Tabitha says she doesn't like the look of the cardstock once the powder's on there because it kind of dulls the cardstock, and I totally agree, but that powder is so important. We're going to put the special delivery. It's going to kind of come down here right off of our little embossed piece. So you can see that I'm hanging it right about here, and then we're going to bring in some dimensionals, and dimensionals are somewhere. Set them aside. I did not set them aside where they normally go, so then you know it's a struggle. Okay, so here's my tree line. I'm going to keep my dimensionals toward the top because it will bump eventually into, I'm going to do 3 eyes and a nose. Okay, so if you flip it over and put it on here, you're going to know that by the time it hits the bottom and hits these upper layers, you don't really need dimensionals there. Now I did put this on, I put this on a little bit higher than my first card, so I'm just going to make sure that I'm not covering up special delivery with the corner of my decolled circle. And oh my goodness, usually I peel these off like no worries. Tonight they're sticking a little bit. All right, I'm going to put a little bit of glue here on the bottom. Here's my smile. Eyes, nose, smile. See, that's my tip for you. Smile there, and then we're going to flip it over and we're going to just put it on here. Again, we don't want to cover up our special delivery. We want our trees to be kind of straight across. This one's going to be a little bit higher on my card. So lessons learned. We're learning lessons. When you make this card, it's probably better to put this down a little bit farther. You can kind of see here the difference in how much how much designer paper shows here versus here. So if you put this up higher, you might have to put your special delivery down lower. You're just going to have to adjust a little bit, right? We can all adjust just so nicely. Now this truck is going to come on also with dimensionals. And the reason I'm putting him on with dimensionals especially is because there's so much green on green happening. I want to make sure that there's a little bit of depth here between the greens so that it doesn't just be green on green on green on green on green and green on green. So there we go. So this one's going to come up and over here kind of toward the bottom. Oh, I forgot to stamp the little stripies here. So there is a stripey right here. And it's not really striped. It's the road, it's lines, whatever you want to call it. I did stamp that in basic gray on my first card. Totally forgot to stamp it. I am not going to squeak this in here now, but there's a little stamp that can be stamped here, and I did that. So my suggestion would be to find a stamping marker or a blend, and you could, this is gray granite, the same color as my ink pad here, you could just add some lines. So I'm just going to add some lines in here, and we're just going to pretend that that's the stamping. So it's just going to look a little different, but I shaded that in a little bit. Actually, it looks a lot different. Oh, that's because I grabbed gray granite. That's a lighter color. This is basic gray. So anyway, you can see that you can use either or, and you're going to get just a little bit of shading there on the bottom, which is kind of nice. Now the last thing we need here is our bow. So we're gonna sneak a little bow in here. So we're going to do another little black gingham bow here. Now, I don't know if you knew this, some of you may know this, but you can color this ribbon with the Stampin' Blends, which is really cool. So any ribbon that has any white element to it, you can take the Stampin' Blends and color the ribbon, and it's going to take on the color that you're using. And of course the black will remain black. It may change it up a little bit. Maybe I want to make that bow a little bit smaller there. And we're going to tuck that right in there. Not with tear and tape though. Look at how sad I am. I will use a dimensional. Okay, we're working it here today. I'm going to tuck the dimensional in right up here. So I'm tucking this in right here. This is another way that I like to add a bow, especially if I want to give it a little bit of height. Now, this tricky part may be that my knot may not cover all of that sticky stuff there. So I'm going to have to maybe manipulate a little bit for it to cover most of it. Now, I wouldn't recommend necessarily, unless you have a bigger bow, I could do a double bow. If you did a double bow, you could probably get both of them on there, on that little dimensional, and it would be fine. My favorite way to put that on there, of course, is tear and tape. So I did tear and tape over here, and it's a little bit flatter, flush with that rather than up a little bit higher. And I realize that it's covering up some of my special delivery too, but it is on there. It's beautiful. This is the green card. This one I had a little bit of struggle with. Struggled with the green card here. So we are 2 cards in. We've got 1 to go. Just check my comments here. Sandra says, yes, she does like embossing better. I'm so great. And Jess likes the green card. That's awesome. Okay, cool. So we got 2 cards in. We're 2 cards in, you guys. We're going to go on to our last card. And let me clean up here real quick, get some things out of the way, because we gotta get our next card in here. Let me move these guys aside. And I like to look at them all at the end with you too. Okay, this is our last card tonight. Again, these are the card kits. Now I have to tell you another story. I have stories sometimes. Earlier, I die cut these trees. These are from the Forever Forest dies. And I always die cut for you things that don't go with the bundle that I'm using. So today I will not be stamping or sending you any punches from the trekking along, but I have other things that I'm going to send you. So I'm sending you some little mountains. Look at these cute little white mountains, and the trees, some in peacock, some in silver. You're getting some punched pieces from the double oval punch. You're getting the music note embossed. Love this. You're getting some designer series paper. This is from the One Horse Open Sleigh. So this is my card kit. Again, notice the little bit of black that I tucked in here. Super fun. This is my story though. I meant to use this big tree in the peacock, and I meant to use a smaller tree in the silver, and I lost my die. I made my die went like between the time that I made my card and cut these kits, I lost my little die. So here's the card. You can ooh and ah here while I talk about it. I love this one, of course, too. So this peacock tree is bigger than the little silver tree. The silver tree is meant to be smaller, but I couldn't find the smaller one. So the card that I'm going to make tonight is going to have we're going to put a bigger tree in instead. So you guys let me know if you like the bigger tree in silver or the smaller tree in silver, because I can adjust my card kits accordingly. I want to say that there's a happy ending to this card. I did find, after I cut everything, after a little bit, I found the little die. I can't remember where it was, but it was hidden somewhere. I found it. It's all's well that ends well, right? But anyway, as I create this card, I would love to know if you think I should keep the trees the same size, or if I should make the silver one smaller. That's where I'm going with all that. Let me separate my card kit so I can create this card and show you how it all goes together. So there's lots of pieces to this one. So let me grab out all the things we're going to need to put one together. I am just loving the pretty peacock lately. This is gray granite. I think I have everything I need. So let me put this over here. We need one embossed piece with the music. Okay, good deal. Now I did take advantage of a different stamp set for this sentiment. This sentiment says Sending Cheer. It's from the it's from the Sending Cheer stamp set. Of course it is. It's from that would make it easy to remember, right? Sending Cheer. So I took the advantage because there's really not a lot of Christmas. There's 2. Well, I use special delivery as a stamp for my green card. However, it's not necessarily a Christmas sentiment, right? So I needed to grab in just at least one more sentiment. So I thought sending cheer would be nice because, you know, if you're sending something by truck, you're probably sending it cheerfully. Let's bring in our base. Let's put together our bones. And we have some really beautiful colors. Again, this has a little bit of a masculine appeal. This would be a lovely card for your spouse. It would be just, I mean, anybody really, but I think the trucking along, obviously, is a little bit more masculine. Not necessarily, but it could be, right? We need things for the guys in our lives too, right? It can't all be flowers and hearts and such. So we have to have a little bit of all kinds of things. And I know masculine cards are always the most difficult cards to make, so it is nice when you can just have something that is so universal, like this beautiful truck punch. Okay, so I put my little music notes on here, and I put this on so it's all matted and lovely, remembering which way it's going to open. The music notes have a little mix of up and down, which is really nice. Now I love these trees. So we're going to put these two pieces together before it goes on the card front. And the best way to do that is to put some adhesive on the right side of the black card strip and then line this paper up over top of it. That way you can decide how much you really want to show. It can be a little bit, it can be a lot, it can, you know, just however you want. They are the same height, which makes it a little bit easier to line it up. So once you have that on there, then it's easier just to put it onto your card base. And again, we're just putting this on nice and flat. We're saving the dimensionals toward the end. Make sure everything's still in sight here. So I'm just going to leave a little bit of white here on the side and bring this in just like this. And this really is the bones of your card. Now, of course, you still have the mountains, you still have the trees. Well, I have two sets of trees out. You still have the mountains and trees. And you still have this beautiful sentiment piece here. This could be a card, right, like this. You don't even have to really add anything more to it if you don't want to. We are going to be adding the truck, of course, because the truck, super cute. All right, let's talk about how I put these little trees on here. So there is no adhesive to this beautiful, pretty peacock glimmer paper. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue along the spine of the tree, and I'm actually lining this up kind of where the designer series paper and the embossed piece meet. So I'm kind of filling in that little space right there. This was supposed to be a mini tree. Mini tree, excuse me. Let me grab a sip. Dry in the craft room, which is good for paper, not so much for talking. So this was supposed to be a mini tree, and I did want it to be smaller, obviously. This is actually, this still is on here. This is actually adhesive paper. This is adhesive backing. So you can peel this one off. You don't have to glue this one. And then I'm going to just offset it a little bit and keep it a little bit lower because I did want it to, you know, I don't want them to be the same height. Let me move these guys out of the way. They're going to distract me into thinking I need to add more. They each have their own card. So now we're going to just bring in this little ridge of mountains. Super cute, right? And we're actually just going to glue this down. This is also going to go down flat. Now you guys are like in shock tonight, right? You're like, wait, why is not everything dimension? I do have a lot of layers going on here, so I figured, you know, we're going to just do this. Now this is going to fit side to side from your peacock edge right across, right? So I have die cut that for you again from the, I think it's the Forever Forest or Fragrant Forest. Now I can't remember which one. It'll be in my directions. It's in one of the forests. It's in a forest, right? Mountains in the forest. Oh, and I wanted to say that with these beautiful mountainous hills and the music notes, this really could be a Sound of Music card, right? The hills are live with the Sound of Music, and I just wanted to put that out there because I love that movie so much, and it's about the right time of year to be watching the Sound of Music also. So let's bring in again our outline for the truck, and we're going to do it on with the Memento ink on this white scrap of paper. Make sure I get a nice image here. So we're going to do this right here on this scrap paper, leaving room to hold a little handle as we punch it. And we're going to bring in Pretty Peacock. This is going to be our blue truck. So I want to know, you guys, which truck has been your favorite? We've got red truck, green truck. This will be blue truck. You can see it in the works right now. So we're just going to fill in this beautiful color, if I can line it up properly. into our truck. And oh my goodness, I love the pretty peacock. It's so pretty. Like it's in the name that it's pretty, so of course it's pretty. All right, sending cheer. I need to find sending cheer. Sending cheer is going to go into this little oval right here. This is a punched piece that you're getting, so you can fit something small in here. Sending cheer was just right. Now we're going to try this one more time. We're going to try these wheel wells, this tire thingy, one more time here. Let's see if I can line this up a little bit better here. I think the problem is I'm trying to keep my head from not being in the camera angle. So I'm trying really hard to figure out where these go. And in the light, I'm having a struggle. And I did it too high, so I'll try one more lower. Okay, second time's a charm. So there we go. I filled that in. Again, you could grab a Stampin' Blend or a marker and do the same thing. I do like the ease of just being able to stamp if you're able to do so. So let's grab some adhesive. We're going to put our little scallops together here. So we've got the pretty peacock scallop behind. We need to punch out our little truck. So again, this was just a super simple way to use these stamps and truck. Nothing fancy here today. When we're doing our Christmas cards, we are in a hurry, hurry, hurry. So here's our little truck, just like this. This is going to go on with dimensionals. And I'm going to turn it over. Now this truck I didn't fill. I didn't put anything in the bed of the truck because I have the trees off to the side. So we are still celebrating Festival of Trees. We're celebrating it with the tree paper and the little tree add-ons, but I didn't want to just keep using the same, you know, stamp in the back of the truck kind of deal. So I changed it up a little bit. I feel like we're still good with our Festival of Trees. I'm going to just bring this in here and pop this on this side. Sending cheer also would like some dimensionals, please. And we're going to just kind of offset this a little bit over here. Right side up would be lovely. So let's put this right side up. Maybe right about here. Sending cheer, and we're going to sneak in a little bow here as well. So this is my pretty peacock, this is a really pretty card. There's a little bit of glitzy glam going on here with those fun little trees that are die cut. So cute. And the reality is mixing and matching all of your products is so much fun. I mean, whether it's paper, whether it's dies and punches, they're all meant to work together. I know they come up, Stampin' Up comes up with great bundles and things. I'm gonna need to use, this time I'm gonna use a glue dot. I'm gonna bring in a glue dot this time. We're gonna change it up. So you can see that I've struggled through not having my tear and tape for my bows. But what I was starting to say earlier is that Stampin' Up sells bundles that are, you know, they go together, it's great, but it's also great to be able to use different dies, different embossing folders, all of the things. All of the things really are meant to go together. And it's just fun to play. Like, it's a lot of fun to play. All right, so there's the card class. We did our beautiful, I mean, gorgeous, pretty peacock card. We have the special delivery in greens. There's 2 of those. And then we got, oh my gosh, you know, I look at the pretty, I love the pretty peacock one, but I really feel like my favorite has to be the Wishing You a Festive Christmas. The white one, the first one that I did, I feel like that is my absolute favorite card tonight. Okay, let me flip you back over. Hi! And I want to see some comments. I got to read some comments here. Patty says they're all pretty. Jess loves pretty peacock. Oh, Jess, you like the green one. That is so awesome. I always find that I have a card that I'm thinking no one will like. And tonight it was the green card, so I'm glad that you really liked it. Flo says blue, then green, and then red. All are great. Okay, larger trees. That's good to know. Maybe I'll make my kits with the larger trees then. Thanks, Rhonda. Thanks, Jackie. Oh my gosh. Jackie has the truck punch. It is an awesome punch. Sandra, can't you choose? I know they're all really lovely. And again, what's really nice when I put these card kits together is that they're cohesive enough that if you purchased product to get the card kits, you could make the card kits and you could gift away 6 cards that go together to someone who's maybe not as crafty as you. And that's one of my favorite features, especially as we're entering the gift giving season. I love the idea that you can create something and give it to someone. And at the same time, you're getting some Stampin' supplies for yourself. So it's really a win-win. Michelle loves the blue. I know, Michelle, you love the blue and the tall trees. Okay, I'm going to keep the tall trees then for my card kits. Even though my demo sample card will have the shorter tree, I will keep the taller trees. So maybe it was meant to be that I lost my die for a little bit in the craft room. How crazy is that? All right, so that's my card class for today. If you want these card kits in the mail, $40 order using my host code. $50 order gets you the card kits and the ribbon. This offer expires on Friday, as it always does. Check out, oh my gosh, you guys, happy Thanksgiving week. It's Thanksgiving week. I will still do a color swap on Wednesday over on Positive Paper Crafters. I will not be live Thursday at 3. I will be enjoying family and food. Thursday at 3 will not happen this week because Thursday is Thanksgiving. Now don't worry, I'm still going to stuff your email with a special card recipe. So see what I did there? I'm going to stuff your email like a turkey. So you'll have that Thursday email from me with information and a card recipe. I'm just not going to go live and demonstrate it. And then I'll be sharing some Black Friday specials that I will have going on. Basically, they'll be Friday through Monday. And then next week, another Festival of Trees class. Week number 7 is coming up. I'm so excited. So turkey coma for sure, Michelle. By 3 o'clock, I hope I'm in turkey coma and enjoying like dessert, because that's really my favorite part. So, no surprise, dessert. All right, everybody, thanks for your time. I love all your comments. Thanks for hanging out with me. I'll come back through and I will read them and I will try to reply, but sometimes I get so busy. I read them and I enjoy them so much. So just know that I really appreciate you. I am grateful for you. And in this week of gratefulness, I'm very grateful for you. So if you have any questions, leave them there as well. And until next time, I forgot to talk to you about my card. Tonight is the last night to sign up. I've had a few people sign up for November Card Maker Collective Club. If you have, I appreciate it. If you have questions, I will still get to you. And thank you for checking out that Card Maker Collective Club. It's going to be an awesome one. And okay, that's it for me. I got it now. Until next time, stay inspired, create something beautiful, and share the love. Bye, everybody. Happy Thanksgiving.